What does it mean to live in a democracy? And what is your role as a citizen in that democracy? These are the questions I will answer with this video project. So first I'd like to answer the question, what does it mean to you to live in a democracy? So first I'd like to briefly explain, what is a democracy? Well, democratic government is based on that simple idea that everyone is equal and that some people need to control the chaos, of humanity. So they give them temporary power. So, this brings along a high level of freedom found in no other type of government. I mean, just the simple idea that you can do what you want and you don't have to listen to someone else it's such an amazing idea that, so many things get accomplished in America because of the simple basis that you can do what you want and no one's going to make you do otherwise. This simple idea is what makes America so great. Many of us take it for granted, but other kind of governments, you can't do all these things you do in America, though. Now, for the second part of the project, to answer the question, what is the role of a citizen in a democracy, we went around asking a collection of people. And now, the collection of people is quite interesting because most of them are young adults who become the essence of democracy in 2 to 3 years, making important decisions, helping pass certain legislations, perhaps, and voting. This is the essence of democracy. And I've also interviewed a few important persons. I'll note them in the video. But this wide selection of people all to answer the question, what does it mean to you to be a citizen in a democracy? Let's see what they said.
It means you have to follow the rules that they lay down. Even if they're really kind of stupid, a citizen should follow the rules.
Follow every single rule?
Every single rule.
All the time?
If it's really stupid. Like if cheeseburgers were banned.
Okay.
Or if it's legal, drive into Wisconsin with a chicken on your head.
And you would obey that law always?
Yeah.
Well, you have to, otherwise they'll pull you over, they'll give you tickets, they'll make you pay. And I guess a citizen also has to be open-minded.
What do you mean by that?
Well, according to follow these rules that somebody else has already upon them, they'd obviously have to go against their beliefs sooner or later. So they'd have to be open-minded, so they can abide.
So should a citizen think for themselves, or should they always obey authority?
Well, they should definitely think for themselves and
That's a good mix between the two.
Well, I think being a citizen democracy is all about participating in the government and all the things going on. In the United States, for example, things like voting and being an informed voter and knowing who and what you're voting for and why you vote for them, what you believe in. I think taking part in the community is also a big part of democracy since everybody plays a role. Serving in the community is definitely a big part and just playing towards the overall picture.
Should a citizen love their country, always?
I think they should show respect for their country and honor their country. They don't actually necessarily have to agree or like the things their country is doing, but they should definitely still support it.
When I think of a citizen, I think about, a free person, the freedoms that are given to them. They're, able to express themselves, able to do whatever, but, crap, I lost it.
So do you think a citizen should love their country?
A citizen should definitely love their country and be proud of where they live. Think of other countries, they have more opportunities than anyone would ever have around the world.
Should they question any decisions made by government?
Well, I guess it kind of depends. A citizen should have a voice. They should be able to express what they like and what they don't like.
To be a citizen in a democracy, I think that you have a lot of freedom, and along with that freedom you have certain rights, but you also have responsibilities and duties. For duties, a lot of the duties that we have today, such as attending school and being in a draft if necessary and whatnot, I think some duties should be changed to responsibilities. Like drafting, for example, I think that should be responsibility, not necessarily something you have to do, but something you should do. And for responsibilities, I think voting is a huge responsibility. It's really important that people vote in a democracy so they have part in the government, but I don't think that should be a duty because it's your choice whether you vote or not. If you don't vote, you should be willing to accept the consequences of not voting, like someone getting elected that you don't care for.
Should a citizen love their country?
I feel that a citizen would want to love their country. If they're living there, they should like it. but it shouldn't be required that you love the country to live there.
Well, I think that it's important that citizens should be an informed voter when they are voting for president and people that are going to represent them in the political bodies that for their country. That way that the country can move forward and become a better place.
Do you think a citizen should love their country?
I don't think it's necessary that they love their country. They just, maybe they can not like their country because I think they have the right to free speech. But if they don't, say like hate their country or whatever, they should just they shouldn't like act out against it.
It's an extremely important thing to me. I like the idea that I have the ability to vote, to voice my opinion, and to be free in the voicing of my opinion without repercussion, based on, what the government would think, towards say a religious attitude or something like that. I don't have to fear that I end up in jail because I can voice my opinion.
Okay.
And so it's extremely important to me.
Okay. Do you think a citizen should love their country?
I think if you don't love your country, you might as well not be a citizen and go be in a different country.
Okay. Do you think a citizen should follow all laws passed by his country?
I believe that's absolutely right. Otherwise, you're no longer a country. You're just a bunch of screwballs running around. So the citizen needs to follow the law. If he doesn't like the law, then do something to change it. Don't break the law.
Okay. So if Congress made a law tomorrow that made cheeseburgers illegal, you would follow that?
Absolutely. I
Absolutely.
may fight the law, unless, of course, it's a moral thing. Take, for example, abortion is a legal entity. I do not agree with that.
Okay.
However, I do recognize the fact that it is legal. Therefore, if I don't like the law, I need to do what I can to change the law. I just don't want to go against it.
Well, first of all, I have to say that sometimes being a citizen in a democracy can be kind of messy. We have a lot of freedom to choose our political leaders. We are not necessarily expected to have the same ideas. And a lot of people look at a democracy and really even decide that they're not going to vote or they are not going to contribute to the political process. And within a democracy, that's all within our rights. I appreciate having a voice in politics. I make sure that I always vote. I try to do a lot of reading about the candidates and the issues that are present. I guess one of the things that I struggle with is that also in a democracy we have a lot of freedom, and sometimes when you look at political ads and truth in advertising, the ads don't necessarily portray the reality or the actual truth, and so many people, and it is their right, can make decisions based on the advertising that political candidates do, and so sometimes I think some of the decisions made by other citizens are maybe less researched, with maybe less understanding of the issues at hand. So that's the messy part.
Do you think a citizen should always love their country?
I don't know that I would say we always need to love our country. I think it's important that we have the opportunity to disagree with things that go on in our country. Sometimes out of those disagreements comes greater understanding and compassion and policy changes. So I think as a person in a democracy, I think it's important that we question, that we don't take everything at face value, that we try to look for the cracks or the things that aren't working well and really question, what can we do better? How can we make improvements?
Do you think a citizen should respect and always follow all the laws passed by this country?
Yes,
Do you think a citizen should love their country?
very much.
Do you think that a citizen should go to war if necessary for his country?
Yes,
Do you think that a citizen should always vote?
yes. I'm very proud to be a citizen of the greatest country on earth.